Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Ivan Khan, the CEO at Khan's Tutorial. Today we'll be going over the June Specialized High School Program Parent-Teacher Conference. Every month you should be attending the parent-teacher conferences we have here at Khan's, and if in case you missed them, please take a look at this really quick video so you can help your child secure a seat at the New York City Specialized High Schools. Alright, let's think about some important dates. We just finished up the month of May, we're starting June, and during May we had our Diagnostic D. And it's really important that you know where your child is during after Diagnostic D. That was in the middle of May. So the median score was between a 62 to the 63. So that means half of the students at Khan's Tutorial are above a 62 or a 63, and the other half are below. Let's move over to June. So for June, we have to keep in mind that we're still continuing workshops every single Friday from 4:30 to 7. And this month in June, we'll be starting boot camps from 11 o'clock to 2 o'clock on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays starting on June 28th. What's the difference between a workshop and boot camp? So if your child is at a 55 or 60 and they're already there almost at the top half of the class, workshops will be filled with advanced material that will help them score spots at the top 3 at Stuyvesant, Bronx Science, and Brooklyn Tech. But if your child is below the median and not scoring at 55 yet, you have to consider joining boot camp so you don't waste time during the summer. And speaking of the summer, let's go into July. Let's think about the last day of school. That's around Monday, June 27th. And before you know it, we're in July. So you have to figure out how can you fill that time during the summer and not waste it on your iPads and your video games. Trust me, I'm a father as well of 2 young children, and it's always quite the journey and the adventure for my wife and I to ensure that our kids are not wasting too much time on their iPads and video games or YouTube. So you have to make sure to dedicate a lot of time during the summer to your practice work. So boot camps are Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays from 11 to 2. And workshops are on Fridays with more advanced material from 4:30 to 7. That goes for July all the way into August as well. That doesn't change because we're not going back to school until September after Labor Day. So you have to ensure that this summer you're using as much time practicing at home or joining us for the classes here at Khan's Jackson Heights or from the comfort of your own home on our live digital platform. Let's keep going. So the top school rankings have been released this past month once again by the U.S. News and World Report. If you take a look at all the public high schools in New York State, the specialized high schools are still in the top 10, top 15 for the entire city, and quite often in the top 20 and top 25, beating out a lot of richer schools in the suburbs and in upstate New York and different parts of New York State. The specialized high schools, no matter where you look in New York State, are still the cream of the crop. So Stuyvesant High School has the highest cutoff score in Lower Manhattan. Bronx High School of Science has the next highest cutoff score. And Brooklyn Tech has the most seats. So that's why we always put those 3, Stuyvesant, Bronx Science, and Brooklyn Tech, the top 3 of our list. And we'll have more time to discuss the other high schools in future videos. So just to remind you all, you're at the right place. In this past spring, Khan's Tutorial, we're proud to have 145 students get into the specialized high schools. Thank gosh, alhamdulillah. And that's still number 1 in the community. Khan's Tutorial had 145. There was a tutorial that's well known, but they did not report. There's another tutorial that only had 37. Another place had 45. Another place had 20. So congratulations to all the students that received offers, no matter where you prepped. But if you're watching this and you're at Khan's Tutorial, you can see that you have the highest chances since, for the 28th straight year, we had the highest number of acceptances. I was 30 to Stuyvesant High School, 41 from Khan's Tutorial to Bronx Science, 47 at Brooklyn Tech, at least 15 at York Science in Jamaica, Queens. So we're growing our numbers at all the specialized high schools, and you're next. All right, so from Diagnostic D, that was in May, we're thinking about Diagnostic E, that's coming up this month in June. So if you're at the median, let's say you're between a 55 and a 65, you're at that 61, 62, 63, I know it feels like a struggle, but trust me, you're right there in the middle of the pack. And all it takes is some increased practice at home or with some extra summer classes to make sure you're increasing by at least 8 points. So let's do the math. If you're at a 57 and you're preparing and you do well, you're practicing every day 1 to 2 hours, practicing from the books, practicing from your classwork, on your notes, that should get you into a 65 territory by Diagnostic E. If you're already at that 65 and 75 territory, there are at least 50 to 75 kids in your school, in your classes right now at Cons, who are already in that offer range. So maybe you'll be going for that 5 or 6 point increase. And if you're already at the 75 to 100 range, hopefully you're having at least a 3 to 5 point increase with all the diagnostics. So remember, this month we have Diagnostic E, then we'll have Diagnostic F, G, all the way to H. We may even have the Total Review Comprehensive Diagnostic all the way at the end of the program. All right, so let's find out what our cutoffs here at Cons means. As you know, the material at Cons Tutorial is still way more difficult than the material that you will see on the specialized high school exam. Most of the kids who put the work in like you all are right now, you have the good news once you get in, but if you want a score of a STI territory, you have to have 3 scores above an 88 to have a 75% chance of getting into Stuyvesant High School. So that's 3 scores above 88 on a Cons diagnostic. If you want to go to Bronx Science, one of the best high schools in New York State, that's where I went, you're going to have 3 scores of at least an 83. If you want to go to Brooklyn Tech, one of the most popular top magnet high schools in all of New York State and the country, you have at least 3 scores of 78. So let's think about this. 78 for Brooklyn Tech, 3 of those scores, 83 for Bronx Science, and about an 88 for Stuyvesant. That's what Cons diagnostics mean when translated into your chances of getting into the specialized high schools for at least those 3 original top specialized high schools. Parents, please remember, the SHSAT is 3 hours. It's going to be one of the most challenging exams your child will be taking in their life. That's why at Cons we have full-length diagnostics already every single 4 to 6 weeks. An hour and a half of ELA, which includes revising, editing, and reading comprehension, and then an hour and a half of the math section. And remember, this is high school level math. Even if you're at a top place in New York City, a lot of the material that you might see, you have to know this material outside of the classroom to ensure that you can have a really, really good chance of getting in. All right, so tips for improvements at home. Number 1 thing, keep your cameras on. For whether you're a teacher like me or a student like my kids at home, I'm always telling my child, my daughter, my son, keep your camera on, because that way the teacher can see how well you're absorbing it. Even if it's a do now, don't keep your camera off. The teacher should be able to see how well you're understanding. Even if it's a diagnostic exam, keep your cameras on. It allows more focus, better engagement, and allows you and your child to do better on our assignments and diagnostic exams. Always keep the cameras on. All right, you all know about GradeCam. Every single week, your child's already using GradeCam to sign into their classwork and homework submissions and other test submissions. Parents can easily check by joining your child, looking at their GradeCam account, and then you can see how they've been scoring on their recent activities. Home practice schedule. Now, this is an important piece of the puzzle. It's already mid-June. Every morning we're waking up between 7 or 8 to go to school. We're outside of the house somewhere around 8:30, on our way to school. We spend the whole day there, probably getting us a little tired. Once we're back, we want to be able to use a little bit of time to just relax. When my children come back home, first thing they do is eat a snack, watch a little TV, and unwind. That should be limited to about half an hour, 45 minutes. You need to take a shower then, that's great. After that, around 4, that's when you need to start practicing your Cons material. That means your specialized high school class notes, that means your book list problems, your practice sets, your current homework, your bonus worksheet that we'll be talking about. So you have to start that around 4 to 5 p.m. For your Cons homework first. Once you're done with that, have some dinner, enjoy some time with your family, relax a little bit, and then start your school homework later on in the evening. Right now, it's the end of the year. Your homework assignments should not be that much at school, so use this time, especially with summer coming up, to focus on your SHSAT, specialized high school material. And always remember to go to bed by 10 or 11. We cannot have you staying up past 11 p.m. And you got to keep in mind to start going to bed by 10 p.m. The specialized high school handbooks, we can all find this online on the DOE website. It covers at least 2 full-length exams. For all of the students at Cons, we've already finished a lot of the content from the handbook, but we will be repeating it during workshops, during boot camps, and it's really, really important that you go over this material over and over again. We also have recommended books that are mandatory requirements for all family members at Cons. Please take a look at the Kaplan SHSAT prep book. A lot of this level of material we finished in our own curriculum early on in September, October, November. The Barron's level work is a little bit more difficult, and we've been, we have our own curriculum that mirrors and competes with Barron's level questions from December, January, February. And as our program continues to become more competitive and the work becomes more challenging throughout the year, it starts reaching the levels of McGraw-Hill and the Tudorverse. So you recommend these books. They're from some fantastic companies making some terrific questions, but for all your teaching and all your training needs, you're at the right place here at Cons with all of our students that get in every year. Furthermore, as we go along the summer, you will be. It's important that you get the Argo book, Ivy Prep, Solomon Academy, and even the Namaste books. All right. So how to study during the school year? Always start with your weakest section. For most of you, that'll be reading comprehension. You have to get over the fear. When I was a kid, reading comprehension was really boring. It had difficult vocabulary, and frankly, I'd just get distracted pretty easily. So at Cons, we always use our pencil and paper as our number one best friend on the exam, and you'll be annotating. You have to make your summary words. Just make sure that you're using all of the resources available, practicing at least 1 to 2 hours every single day. Furthermore, just remember, always start with the Cons homework first, then finish your school homework. Your Cons homework will be a lot more challenging, and the more time you spend on Cons homework, the better your chances at getting a seat at Stuyvesant, Bronx Science, or Brooklyn Tech. As parents, if you're watching this video and you're reaching this portion of the video, you're already doing a big part right now. Just please know that moving forward, if any student has less than a 50%, once upon a time that was even lower. If any student has above a 50%, you will be getting an email home or if you don't have your cameras on, you will be getting an email. So always check any type of communication from our team here at Cons. So finally, as you all know, workshop happens on Fridays. Here's a picture of our incredible classroom leader, Ms. Nita, here at Cons Jackson Heights. As you see, we have Degree Drive at the back. She's going over all of the material and our smart boards and our technology that we use here. And all of these students are here twice a week, not only on Fridays, but also on Saturday and Sunday for their group classes. If you're watching this and you have family members that have been asking, hey, where's your kid preparing? And if you refer them to Cons, there will be a discount for your child for any of the programs that they enroll either this summer before their SHSAT or even later. And again, remember, you're at the right place. We had 145 kids get in. Even if you add up all those other numbers from some of the other places around the neighborhoods, it's still, Cons total still surpasses the combined total for every other place. So congratulations to all of our students and all of our families for choosing Cons. You're in the best place, whether you're in person here at Jackson Heights or taking it on our live digital platform. So let's remember, success is a sum of small efforts repeated. Every single day you'll be having to build all the way until your scores are at a range where you're meeting the cutoffs for these high schools. It does not happen overnight. It's going to require a lot of dedication from you, the student, some support from your parents, and of course, as always, all of us here at Cons Tutorial will be here for you every step of the way. Thanks so much. See you for the next video, and good luck studying.